Today I'm going to show you how we build the manifold on the Workhorse Pitts offset. Now what is a manifold? Good question. It's actually referred to as a collector in the industry. It actually collects the heat coming across the chamber, it softens the draw, and of course it sends it out the stack. Now we found before we launched the Workhorse that insulating this was a super huge part of the draw, especially if it's raining and it's 35 or 40 degrees out. The cold air influence in this area really affects the downward draw, which downward draw is cold air. Cold air is heavier than hot air. So this is an old primitive out here in front of me, and how we used to build the manifold long before Workhorse was we'd cut a sliver of this pipe out right here, and we would mount it on the manifold deck and then weld a flat piece of steel to both sides right here in this seam. It still functions outstanding, but it doesn't really look aesthetically pleasing. So before we launched Workhorse in 2019, we acquired the tools to do it really nice, and it always is accurate. So what we're building here is this manifold, and of course this bend right here, you can go about it a ton of different ways from a fabrication standpoint if you're building the pit at home or whatever. But this has to be repeatable, and we have a large volume here. We want them to be highly accurate. So we use this big Goliath right here. So we take this 5/16 inch steel and we stick it in Goliath, and even though it's a really old machine, we've added CNC to it, which means it becomes a repeatable part. And watch how easy this thing bends. I'll stick it right in here in my guide. Make sure it's back, and voila. Now, before we call this apart, we'll go set it over here on our little test jig, and we'll set it in here, and we'll make sure it's absolutely perfect before we move it on to being welded out.